As Murray said, this project, Plant Business, has its genesis in the bush tomato work, which is now going to be used as a case study. It'll continue to be developed, but to try and extract value opportunities for Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander people out of their cultural knowledge in the plant area. So the three key elements involved in that then are to develop processes to go about actually protecting that intellectual property in some way, and the current processes aren't necessarily well adapted for doing that, to actually develop some physical horticultural varieties, that is varieties that are suited to horticultural production systems of plants, and thirdly to wrap those two things together by actually getting sound intellectual property protection around those specific plant varieties. The activities then that are envisaged to be involved in this project, which is still at a development stage, is to engage with Aboriginal Torres Strait Islanders to gain approval to actually do this sort of thing with cultural knowledge and with plant varieties that have been in basically common property for untold time. At the same time, or once that agreement and approval's in place, to actually use genetic and plant chemistry markers, if you like, to actually distinguish these things and give them some way of actually being able to be recorded as distinct, initially bush tomato varieties, but as I say, these processes can then be used with a range of different plant species. Develop the varieties, starting with bush tomatoes, and also the horticultural, the production practices that are best suited to the environments that we're working in, the plant material that is being developed. The longer term outcome of that will be to assist Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander communities to actually develop businesses that are based on these plant products. As I say, actually developing strategies for protecting their intellectual property, and of course training Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, researchers or people involved in research and development in this particular area of technology. Lastly, the eventual outcomes in more concrete terms will be concrete approval to do this sort of thing with plants that have been used traditionally, actual defined processes for capturing that intellectual property that's embedded within the cultural knowledge of plants, genetic and chemistry profiles that can be used as part of that intellectual property definition, and that'll actually be a really powerful process to own, because it can then be applied and modified as necessary ongoing to prevent the leakage of what is cultural property, I guess, and things like the macadamia nut and the tea tree industry are based on, or I guess they're lost opportunities of plant products that could have been captured, but of course now they're gone. Continuing leakage of that sort is obviously not desirable. New horticulturally suitable varieties and practices for a range of species, actual IP protection, and we need to have the discussion around what forms of IP protection are most suitable for these, and plant breeders' rights, which is the first one that anyone thinks of, may not actually be the best form of protection. So there's a range of different opportunities there that we need to see what works best. Training materials to assist people in developing enterprises, particularly small businesses, based on these plants and plant products. Graduates with various levels of training, and a series of different sorts of publications and other information materials to inform and communicate the results of what we're doing with all the various, very diverse group of stakeholders. I don't think I've ever, coming from a sort of harder science background, ever been involved with such a diverse range of stakeholders. So I'm finding that really, really interesting to work with. Thank you.